All right, here we are. Welcome. All right, so my name is Heather Holdener, and I'm from a company that I started up called Kootenay Style. The website is KootenayStyle.com. Show you my little card here if you can see it. Oh, it's backwards. Maybe it's backwards for you. KootenayStyle.com. Welcome to all who are joining us today. So my website is a site that features local Kootenay artists. So if you're not sure where the Kootenays is, I'll give you a little lowdown on that. So we're located in British Columbia, in the southeast corner of British Columbia, in a little town called Nelson, BC. And there's about 10,000 people that live here, and it's a very artistic community. One like no other, actually. I've been to lots of different places, and yay, hello, fellow Canadian, welcome. So yeah, check out my site, KootenayStyle.com, and you'll find a wide array of potters, jewelry makers, artists, tea makers, just you name it. There's a lot of really, really great, talented people on that site. And so today, 1920 lace. And so today, we're gonna talk with Terese about the tatting process, what it all is. Does any of you know what tatting is? Have you ever heard of it before? Let me know. Welcome. Thanks to everyone for joining us today. This is my very first Periscope, by the way, so thanks so much for coming and joining us. We're super excited. Hey, how are you? Yay! Thanks, everyone. Okay, so Terese is going to tell us a little bit of her history of how she got into tatting, and then we're going to have a look at the tatting process. Thank you. Awesome. Welcome, everyone. My name is Heather Holdener, and I'm with a company called Kootenay Style. It's an online website that features Kootenay artisans. And if you're not familiar with the Kootenays, it's in British Columbia in Canada, in a little town called Nelson, BC. That's where we're from. I'll show you my card. You can have a look one more time. And we're sitting in this really great coffee shop called Empire Coffee in this wonderful solarium room. It's actually quite warm in here.
I think we're sweating a little bit.
We're sweating. All right. Great. Okay, so we're going to get started. So welcome, Terese. Thanks for joining me today on my first scope. And thank you all again for joining. Hi, Vancouver. Welcome. Cool in Vancouver, or you're cool in Vancouver? A little bit of both, maybe. All right, so I'll let you get started. Why don't you tell us a little bit about tatting and what tatting is?
Sure. Well, I'm going to build a piece while I'm talking to you. So this is a little bit of a start of what I've done so far. It's either this way or this way. This is, I think, is going to be a choker, so it'll go on around your neck just like that. Similar to what I have here. So this piece here is one of my masterpieces. It took 30 hours to create, and I put a little bit of steampunk on it just to kind of accessorize and make it super cool. So tatting is a series of knots, tiny little knots that are joined together to create lace. So on finished pieces like this, or on here's a set of earrings here, some people think that I just cut and paste things together, but I don't. Every single knot is done, every single knot, and joined together. I started tatting about 20 years ago with my grandmother. She taught me how to tat. She went through all of the ladies in my family, my mom and aunts, to find somebody who could tat, and because it takes a bit of fine dexterity to work, and nobody really could figure it out. And she sat down with me one day in a restaurant, and I was hooked. I just started learning how to use the shuttles and creating my own kind of patterns and styles. So basically the tools that you need are shuttles, which have...
Can everyone hear us okay? Just give us some hearts if you can hear us. Thanks.
So every shuttle has a bobbin of thread on it, and I like to use threads, classic threads like grays, cream and white, and black. Those are my favorite classic colors to use. And I load the bobbin with thread, and then I stick the bobbin into the shuttle, just like this. And every shuttle has an end with a pokey, tiny little, kind of like a crochet hook, but super, super tiny. And then an end where you can put the bobbin in to wind it. I usually use 1 or 2 shuttles per project. you can use, I don't know, up to 5. Some people use 5 depending on how in-depth the project is, but I usually use 1 or 2 and just keep it a little bit more easy from my head. When I pick a pattern and I start working, every stitch is counted. So when you see a piece like this or a piece like this, every stitch is counted. So it's a very meditative process and requires a fair bit of focus. So when I'm working at home and the kids come in and they want to talk to me, I usually just have to say, just a minute, I need to finish counting so that I don't lose my spot. So this piece I'm going to start, and I don't know if we can make it show a little bit easier. Maybe if I just go up here or in the shade.
Maybe I can pick up my phone a little bit, get in a little closer.
Okay. So I'm going to start with, it's 2 double knots basically. So I stick the shuttle over thread and pull it tight, and then do it the opposite way, and that's 1 complete stitch. And then you just kind of keep doing that. So right now I'm doing 3 stitches, and then I will do what's called a picot. So that's where the little piece sticks up there like a little loop, and I just leave a little bit of space in between. I don't know if you can see that.
I'm actually going to try and turn it around just a little bit, maybe.
I can't see. So there's a little picot. Is that clear enough? Kind of to see? So I'll do another couple of stitches. 1, 2, 2.
Look how fast she is. It's amazing.
And another little picot. So tatting started, it was kind of like actually it was started by men on the ships at sea many years ago. They would use this kind of knotting system to repair their nets when they got holes in them. And when the women saw what was the beautiful handwork that the men were doing, they kind of took it over and made it into using more finer threads, and using it to create lace and accessorize their clothing, their houses, and things like that. So you often will see lace in doilies, maybe that your grandmother had, and maybe your grandmother tatted too. Does anybody have a grandmother that tatted, or an aunt, or somebody that they knew, a neighbor maybe? Give us some hearts if you've ever seen tatting or ever heard of it.
I'm going to flip it back around again.
Yeah, that's okay.
It's so neat. When I first met Terese and she was showing me the tatting process, when I first saw the pieces initially, I thought, oh, it's just a crochet. That's all it is. Just a normal kind of a crochet stitch. And then when I saw her actually doing it and how quick and fast she is and intricate, and like, look at the speed she's going. It's amazing. How long does it take to make a piece?
A piece, so a finished piece like this. This one is a bracelet with a little thing on the end. This one is probably, I'm pretty quick at this, about an hour to 2 hours. These ones here about 20 minutes. This one here that I'm wearing was 30 hours. So the bigger piece is definitely a 30 hours. So something like a doily or a bigger piece would well be 30 to 50 hours of work. So it's definitely a lot of work goes into a tiny little piece of loveliness.
A labor of love.
Yes. Hi.
We have someone joining us here at the coffee shop.
Did you make your necklace?
I did.
Inquiring.
Yeah.
See, this is what happens.
Girl, what isn't that fabulous?
So it's all tatted lace. Yeah.
We're on Periscope right now. You want to say hi to Periscope? It's a live video stream. So there's people all over the world. Say hello.
Hi. We are in Nelson, British Columbia.
Yes, awesome.
In the coffee shop. So, where are you selling these?
I'm selling them on a website called Kootenay Style. So this is Heather, and she runs that website. So it's kind of like a Canadian or a Kootenay Etsy store.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Etsy, it's online.
It's online.
Yeah. And
So
then
much are these?
this one's 300.
Oh.
These smaller
Good girl,
ones are
good girl.
Yeah. This one I think is 45. The earring sets are 30. Yes. So yeah, this is tatted lace.
Tatting. I have an old-fashioned tatter.
Oh, do you?
I do, and I can
Can you tat?
Yes. No, but I'm prepared to get rid of my tat. It's my grandmother's.
Oh.
Nobody wants it.
Oh, you let me know. You know what? Why don't you take this?
And that's how it works, right?
That's right. Because it's such an old art, a lot of mature people see it and go, I remember that. I remember my grandmother, my great-grandmother used to have pieces that she would wear or that she would accessorize. And so I have a lot of people that do give me their old tatting because they don't know what to do with it. So I'll restore it and reuse it or repurpose it and put it into another piece. But usually I just love holding other people's tatting too because there's a lot of love in the lace and a lot of history.
So in some of those old, you know, the 1920s, even earlier, like turn of the century outfits, and they had the lace at the top and on the cuffs, that was all tatting.
A lot of it is. Some of it isn't. And I was been looking really closely at some of the shows like Downton Abbey and trying to pick out if there's tatted lace. And I haven't been able to see in a show yet that is using tatting. But I'm looking. So if you know any TV shows that are from that era, just have a look. The difference, some of the differences between tatting and other lace is that there's a bit of bumpies on it. So it's, I don't know if you can see, but because it's all knots, you can kind of see the bumps of where the knots are. So that's really what differentiates it between other kind of lace. Some other laces are much smoother and don't have the little bumps on them, so to speak.
Those are not necessarily knots.
Right.
They're a different style of knots.
Right, that's right. Okay. Yeah, there's lots of different styles of lace. And then the trying to tell if it's backwards or forwards as well is a bit tough. It really takes a discerning eye to find the front from the back. But and again, it's really hard to see, but sometimes it's smoother on one side than on the other. It's a very, very tiny detail that only a discerning eye would see. So when I'm making my lace jewelry pieces, I make sure that I put the clasps on the right way so you don't have to worry about which way is the right way.
Right. And if there is no clasp, wearing it either way isn't going to make a difference.
Nobody else is going to really know. Yeah, you've got it on backwards. It's not. It's pretty tiny, unless you're getting somebody who's an expert and they're like, that's on backwards.
All right, so if I have any new viewers, just so a little recap of what we're doing today. My name is Heather Holdner, and I have a company called Kootenay Style. It's an online website where I feature local Kootenay artists. So everything is made here in the Kootenays, and if you're not familiar with the Kootenays, it's in British Columbia in Canada, and we're from a little town called Nelson, BC. It's a very funky town. You walk down the main street, really there's just one strip on any night of the week and you're going to see people. It's a really young, vibrant town. There's a college, an art school, a Chinese medicine school, so lots of really wonderful things happening in this community. Lots of art and entertainment daily. And lots of yoga. I like yoga. Yoga and dance. So yeah, I created this site to have a place where artists could go and sell their wares online. And it's going really well. I just launched it in May and I'm super excited, and this is my first scope, so thank you all for joining us. I just want to open it up to anyone if you have any questions, anything you want to ask Terese. So let us know and we'll just keep tatting away.
So again, I can show you a little bit closer what I'm doing. I'm just making a tatted lace. This is going to be a tatted lace choker. So I've kind of been working along here, and every stitch is counted. So sometimes I'll be talking and then I might stop in the mid-screen because I have to remember what number I was on. So right now I'm just doing 3 knots and then doing a picot or a join to the other. I didn't show that one before. So when I make these little loopy things here, these are for decorative reasons and also to join rings together. So right now I've got the start of another ring, so it's going to be like this one, and I'm going to join it together so that I get a continuous stream, and then lock it in with a second half of a knot, and then I'm going to do 3 more knots. Oopsie. And knots are my life. Get really good at undoing knots. So I'm just going to unwind it here because it gets a little bit it gets a little bit twisty.
And if you find this interesting and you think someone else might be interested, just swipe up or down, across, and share the post. Share it with people. Share it with your community. Thanks.
I'll show you another finished piece as well. So then I'm pulling it all closed. And there's the little ring that I just made. So cool. Here's another little necklace that's completed. Ah. Oh, can I even?
Why don't you put it down?
Okay.
And maybe I can reverse the screen. Flip it around. I hope you were able to see that. I'm new at this whole thing. Cool. Yeah, this is really great. Well, thanks so much for joining us. Thank you, Terese, for coming and periscoping with me and showing everyone a little bit about tatting and your love of it. And I know it's a big passion for you. And it's something that was passed down through her family from her grandmother. So again, my name is Heather from KootenayStyle.com. Go and check it out. See what you like. Check out some of Terese's pieces that she's got on there. Have a great day. Bye. I don't know how to stop it.